the hamper.
Hey, Mom, I'm sorry. I have to go.
Mom.
Yes, Apple. Robbie!
Hello, I'm Sophia Jessica, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
All right, great. So if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the film industry?
For Azura?
Both of you?
Azura, please.
I guess it was actually after I did my first film. I thought I had wanted to be in the film industry, but my first job, when I joined the Screen Actors Guild, I was 15. I did this movie for Showtime. That was just such a little gem of a project. Chris Cooper played my dad. It was directed by Michael Lindsay Hogg, written by Horton Foote, who wrote Tender Mercies. It was Shelley Duvall and Hume Cronin and James Earl Jones, and it was such a beautiful, life-affirming experience. And after that, I was like, this is what I want to do every day for the rest of my life. I just want to do this now. So I suppose that was the turning point for me, that this was, in fact, what I wanted to do.
Awesome. And for you, Dean?
Oh, I have to say, Azura, what a terrible cast to work with.
Yeah, that was my first thing. That it was just such a gift. It's all been all downhill from there until I did your film. No, I'm kidding. I've gotten a few great experiences over the years that I'm very grateful for. But that first project, obviously, has incredible bearing. Especially at that tender young age.
Yeah, Chris Cooper, wow, amazing. Marc, defining moment. Before grade school, I loved movies. I mean, before I even understood what they were. I mean, I would draw little pictures of what I was seeing on screen, and I loved it. And I started making movies when I was about 11 with my dad's video camera and my friends, and had no idea what I was doing, but it was just fun. I would act out scenes. I didn't, before, and I understood I could pinpoint actors on television that I liked. I would see James Cagney, and I would see, Christopher Lee and Cary Grant and all these great people, Betty Davis, all these actors I would recognize, and I would want to watch their movies, And then from then I just started, I started reading, and then I went to NYU and studied art and filmmaking, and that was it. And then, yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, what was it about the Swerve that enticed you to get involved to bring it to the screen?
I'm sorry. What to bring it to screen?
What was it about the Swerve that enticed you to get involved to bring it to the screen?
I was working on feature scripts. I'd made like I said, been making short film. I'd been working in the industry in some form or other, and whether it was in marketing, I was a script reader. I'd worked in music videos. I directed and also produced in various other capacities of music videos and films. And I didn't want to do that anymore. I found it rather disheartening. And so I started focusing on, making shorts was great, but I wanted to make a feature, of course. And well, not of course, but I did. I think I had something to say. So I was focused on feature scripts. And this was the one that I, could not stop thinking about. And it was all centered around the character of Holly. Again, it was a drawing I wrote Midnight in a Supermarket. It was a drawing of a woman in a supermarket. And then from there on, it spread from that. And again, it was about, there were a lot of women in my life. And as I grew older, I started discovering that what they went through, in their lives, whether, they were American citizens or they emigrated to the US, and they had, mental illness and suffered through domestic abuse and whatnot. And as I grew up, that stayed with me, in my psyche, and my love for various books, literature, Greek tragedies, Shakespeare, Gothic heroines, filtered through my love of cinema. And that's how the focus came to the Swerve.
Yeah. And Azura, what was it specifically about Holly that grabbed you when you read the script?
Well, I think the role of Holly is really an actor's dream. I think you can wait a whole lifetime and work her whole career and never get to play a role as incredibly challenging and heart-wrenching and nuanced as Holly. So I saw it as a tremendous gift. I saw it as scary, definitely. But I find in reading scripts and playing characters, it's very rare that you're scared. And so if you have the opportunity to be scared in that way, I think you have to pursue it with everything. Because for me, that means that there's something interesting there and it's going to be worthwhile.
Awesome. And how do you relate to Holly?
Well, I actually don't think I relate to her a tremendous amount, which I suppose is a good thing. But I suppose to some extent we all put on a certain form of a mask in terms of going out into the world and presenting ourselves in a certain way. I think we all put up certain people before we put ourselves, oftentimes because that is the right thing to do. And I think for a lot of people, and especially for women, it's how to take care of everyone else and how to take care of yourself too is really a constant battle and struggle. And so I suppose I can relate to that.
Great. Do you have any memories from filming that will stick with you throughout your career?
Yeah, gosh, quite a few.
Which?
Let's see. Well, the whole movie is sort of like, the whole filming of the movie is like this very vivid dream, and it's always interesting what stands out. I always have this memory of, there's a shot where the camera's on a dolly and I'm walking through the schools of the hallway, and the camera's behind me for a lot of it. And I remember showing up on that day, and Dean and Darren, the cinematographer, explaining the shot to me, and I was so excited about it because I just thought it was so cool, and I love the way it turned out in the movie. And so yeah, I'll always remember that long walk through the hall, doing it again and again. To be honest, I'll remember most of this movie. It's pretty vivid and indelible, and even though it was 3 years ago that we shot it, now it remains pretty fresh.
That's awesome. And for you, Dean?
Of the shoot?
Yeah.
I love shooting the things in the hallway, Azura. That was really wonderful. I mean, it had to be timed. I loved, after the first week, my favorite things that stood out, this is going to sound really odd. There's a scene in the bathtub where the camera is placed over Holly, and it's just a very quiet scene, and I knew it would be perfect, and I felt this sort of rush of like happiness and energy coming, because I knew the film was going to work once we did that shot, and it was late in the shoot, and I just was like very joyful, and I was just I didn't say anything to anyone because I thought they would think I was insane, but I just knew that shot, once we had those shots, and the look that Azura gives when I, directed her and said, okay, you're going to turn and do this, that it would work,
Awesome. All right. Are there any other aspects of the film industry that you'd like to pursue?
Me?
Yeah.
Any other aspects? No.
You a frustrated actor, Dean?
No, I think actors are amazing. I think they're brilliant in what they're able to conjure. It's like magic to me. They're able to, they're like these magicians. I mean, if directors can sort of put this idea that they're trying to bring across to actors, how they're able to then take it and then bring it up like out of a cauldron. It's just amazing. Really, really brilliant. So no, not an actor. I don't. Just directing, writing. I really like that. Really enjoy that.
How about you?
I write as well as act, so I will continue to do that, and I might give directing a go someday.
That'd be cool.
We'll have to see.
Are there any other genres that you haven't done yet that you'd like to?
I would love to do a Western. And I would also love to do a movie in a different language. I don't speak any other languages, typically American in that way. I can speak a little bit of French, a little bit of Spanish, but I would love to, do a supporting role or a co-starring role in a foreign film, and rise to that challenge and occasion. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be. That'd be very cool. Well, what about you, Dean?
I would love to do a science fiction piece. Yeah, I like blending genres. So I think since the world as a whole has certainly been introduced to that for quite a while. So I like the way there's so much genre blending, particularly on streaming platforms. They've got such incredible diversity, where something may be labeled out front as science fiction, but you see it blended with horror and also comedy or crime and true crime. So I like the blend. I don't think something is, but though I think horror, science fiction, I actually like comedy too, but I again, it would probably be a blend.
Right. Awesome. So speaking of streaming services, is there a book that you're a fan of that hasn't been adapted to film or TV or Netflix yet that you'd love to be a part of?
Yes, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want anyone to grab it. Yes,
Smart.
absolutely there is, but I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
But it's certainly, again, a blend of genres, both psychological and tense and quite beautiful. Yeah.
Go
Sounds
after
like
it,
fun.
Dean. Go get it.
I will.
Go get it.
I will.
What about you, Azura?
A book that has yet to be adapted. I can't think of any offhand. I'm gonna leave that to the filmmakers. I'm sure as soon as we hang up, I'll think of one.
Yeah.
I too do have a couple ideas, but I'm a bit reluctant to share because we're greedy like that.
Yeah.
Really,
Fair
wow.
enough. That's cool. Leave the audience wanting more,
Yeah.
which we do.
I think, you know what, there is one. I think that the Adventures of Cavalier and Clay, have you ever heard of this book? Michael Chabon? That
No,
should be adapted.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It should be adapted. It would make a great miniseries for like HBO or Showtime or something. Amazon, Netflix, something. It's just an amazing, amazing book.
Cool.
There you go.
Okay.
Good to know.
And what are you hoping the audiences will take away from the Swerve when they get to see it?
Oh, sure. You go first.
Well, I don't want to be presumptuous enough to say what I hope someone will take from it, because I think that's such a personal experience, and this is such a deeply personal movie. I think it's going to affect people in a whole variety of ways, but I guess it would be that I hope it really makes people feel something deeply and viscerally. I hope it moves them in some way, and it stays with them for a little while, and maybe it makes them think about the women in their life who have taken care of them and so thanklessly bent over backwards for them time and time again. Yeah.
And
Maybe it would make people call their mothers and say, "I love you." Thanks for doing your best.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same. The same. I agree. You're calling your mothers, your brother, your sister, your son, your friends. You know, this is I think I think emotions, especially during this very strange period in the world, I think, you know, emotions really are it's like they're simmering. And you never know what people are going through, you know. So I think contact is really important with people. You know, reach out, you know, talk to them. It really, you know, I think it's just extremely important. We're all human. We all share in some form or other. I think Holly is a mirror, either of ourselves or of people around us. So I think it's important to, you know, touch base.
Also,
Absolutely.
just one more thing I wanted a note on what you said, Dean, in terms of you never know what's going on with people. That's so true. You know, you're next to someone at the grocery store, you know, or you see someone like put on a happy face. But the truth is, you never know what's going on with someone. You never know with what they're dealing with. So it's good to acknowledge that and be respectful and just be kind to one another, because people are going through a lot in ways that we'll never know.
Absolutely. And in these difficult times, are there any projects that you're looking forward to getting back to when it's safe to?
I have no projects on the horizon, but I look forward to getting one soon when it's safe to go back. It does seem like in the last several weeks, the business has sort of started creeping back. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm writing. I mean, I'm working on something that is different, but hopefully, I know it'll have my perspective, my point of view, just in a different. It had to be something different, so different from this. You know, otherwise, I don't think it would be good for me mentally to go through that with another character again. You know, with Holly, you have to live with the characters for a long time, and yeah, it's and I like to sort of really get in deep with characters, so it has to be
How long was the shoot?
Well, the shoot was
Fast.
about a month, right? But the writing is, you know, what really gets, you know, you really have to get involved with, and then, you know, and then you have to live with it through the process of getting the film up and, you know, going, and then production, and then post-production. So, you know, as a director, as a filmmaker, I have to really live with the character, and, you know, build the whole film has to reflect the psychological aspects and atmosphere of what I'm going for. So I have to wake up with this and live with it 24/7.
You had to live with her a lot longer than I did.
Yeah,
I mean, in fact, I only lived with her for a couple months, about a month beforehand going into it, and then while we were doing it, and then I got to walk away, and then you continued to live with her for years after that.
Yeah, but and then
and all the years leading up to that.
And then having to see you embody the character, so it was like there she is alive, and I have to see her, you know, go through this time and time again. And of course, there's a wall, but it's a very strange and beautiful process. Really, I mean, it's creative. It's what I couldn't ask for anything more.
Wonderful. And I was just wondering, with seeing your words and the way you direct up on screen, how does that feel for you as a first time director?
Great, strange, personal. Very strange seeing like a person such as yourself across a continent, you know, react to it, and seeing the reactions, particularly, I mean, out of Fright Fest, which has been fantastic. Really, really wonderful. I'm very, it's hard to express in the words other than to say that I'm very happy about it. And I, again, as Azura said before, I really hope people feel something from it. And I hope it, you know, what filmmaker, Billy Wilder, I read it in a while ago. The director Billy Wilder said, you know, if you come away from my films thinking about it for 15 minutes after you've seen it, then I've done my job. And I have to agree. If you come away feeling something from it, then I've done my job. If you come away, I think that would be a very great thing.
The reactions have been rather great from what I've seen and read. So
yeah,
that's got to be quite encouraging.
Yeah, it was extremely encouraging. I mean, the distributor, Tommy, the producer, we're all very overwhelmed by it. It's very good. I had no, going into this, you don't know what people are going to react like. You have no idea. They're going to love it, they're going to hate it. Some will, some won't. And you don't know, but so far the reaction has been fantastic.
Awesome. And as your how did you find it difficult? When you left set, did you find it difficult to leave her on set, or to take her into to keep thinking about her as you were going?
No, as soon as the day was over, or even in between takes, I would go right back to being me, which is always the way I've worked, by no choice of my own. That's just how it works for me. But I had never played a character quite this intense and kind of tortured and multi-layered. So going into it, I didn't know if maybe it was going to rub off on me more than usual. But thankfully, I was able to put her down and leave her at work and go back to being me. And in fact, I feel like the only way I was able to play her was to go back to myself and always start from there. Otherwise, I think I would have just gotten, if I stayed in Holly all the time, I think I just would have gotten too lost and consumed.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's probably the best way of doing it, I suppose, because you are in practically every scene of the film, and it's quite a hard hitting and harrowing what you go through as the character.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, like I said, going into it, I had no idea what it was. Just like getting on a roller coaster, or like jumping into a cold pool without any clothes on and treading water every day. It was quite an experience. But no, as soon as Dean said cut, I was instantly Azura again. So lots of back and forth.
Yeah, right. She's telling the truth. She's absolutely telling the truth about it. And yeah, she would. And I was, there was a little concern, I think, in the beginning. I mean, on my part, but once I talked to her, it was just instinctual. I just thought, I knew, I said, she'll be fine. But there was a concern before that, like, how is an actor going to take this? How are they? But I knew she'd been acting for such a long time. It was not going to be a problem. And once I saw that, she trusted me after a few days, and it was okay. She looked at me, and I still remember it. It was just out of the blue. She went, "Dean," and I said, "Yes," and she said, "Good." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Oh, you're good." And then I was like, "Okay," and I was like, "Okay," and then that was it. I was like, "Okay, I guess she trusts me. Everything's going okay. She's not flipping out."
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. It was just out of the blue, and then and it was I think it may have been one of the scenes in the bedroom, and you just snapped right out of it, and then I was sitting there with my notebook, and then you just said that, and I was like, oh, and I guess that's something from the shoot that's very memorable to me. Because it's a very tricky thing, Marc, to get you get people from all parts of the country together, and then they don't know each other, and you become this sort of family, and it's very intense, and then you're making something sort of out of the air, and then bam,
and then you disperse, and it's all over,
disperse.
And you never see anyone again, and you're like, wait, did that even happen? Or did I just dream that whole thing?
Is anyone going to care? Is anyone
going
to
care? Or did I just put myself through that for fun?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So this is finally getting a release it's finally getting a release on the 22nd of September. Where can people find it?
In the US, it's going to release on every VOD platform you can think of. In the UK, hopefully soon. Fingers crossed, break a leg. I'd love the UK to see it, and everywhere else. But in the US on September the 22nd.
Great. And where can everyone keep up with you and what you're doing?
Me?
Well, both
Twitter, Facebook. I'm not the most. I'm professional. I'm not the biggest. What do you call it? Twitterer. But you can keep up that way. We certainly are promoting the film, and I know that the distributor is too. And you can follow and ask me questions if you like on there too. I know I've certainly. The UK has been fantastic. I really love you guys. I've been reaching out with questions and comments, and with such honesty and in some ways creativity too. But yeah, so I really love you guys.
Awesome. And for you, Azura, where can we find you online?
I'm afraid I don't do social media at all, although there are a bunch of people trying to get me on board with that. So we'll see how that goes. But
I don't blame you.
I'm afraid I'm a bit elusive. You'll just have to keep watching, and I'll just show up one day and surprise you.
That's awesome. We always love seeing you. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me again today. This has been great.
You're welcome.
And I congratulate you on the film and wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Marc.
All right.
Take care. Thanks.
Stay well.
Take care.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram for more content next time.
I'm here on the largest of the Balearic Islands, Mallorca. With the turquoise waters of the Mediterranean Sea, beautiful mountainous landscape, the thriving city of Palma, quaint little market towns, a growing number of luxury hotels, it's no surprise that the likes of Audrey Hepburn and Elizabeth Taylor like to holiday here. So come and join me as I take you round Mallorca.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.